Welcome back to SportsVibe. We're gonna do our NFL recap of the week. It's always been fun to do that. Um, so yeah, I mean, let's just get right into it, I guess. Your week four is in the books. Not really particularly thrilled about how things went with the Giants, but do you want to start with that, or do you want to start with Thursday night and work our
Let's start
way
with Thursday. Let's start with
and
Thursday
work our
night.
way through the week? We could do an order. Maybe I don't think
Yeah.
we've
How
ever
about
done
this?
that.
We'll start with Thursday night because we're talking about winners, and then
Uh-huh.
we'll go back to Sunday and went and
And Monday. Oh, those two games are
where
definitely gotta both be talked about for sure.
yeah, where we're talking about the teams that our favorite teams that did, for a lack of a better term, did not
Yeah.
do so well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All
I
right,
know.
let's get this
All
over with.
right.
Let's
Okay.
talk. Let's talk
Let's
about
start
a
with the
team that
Lions
makes me feel good.
Packers, right? Wait, what?
I said
The
let's talk about a
lovable
team that makes me feel good.
lovable winners, the Lions. Yeah. 3-1. I mean, not a bad start to the
Uh,
season at all. I
oh
mean,
wait. Just a quick intermission. Like the thing I wanted to, I just now remembered. Like I was talking about how the Minnesota Twins ended their longest playoff streak. I mean,
hmm
longest playoff losing streak of 0-18. Want to
right.
guess which team owns that record now? For
Oh,
longest consecutive playoff losses in the
it's
U.S.
Detroit.
Well, it's a Detroit team, but not the
It's
Lions. It's the
not
Pistons.
Pistons.
They're 0
Oh,
and
really?
14 now.
Wow. So they haven't won a playoff game for the longest time.
I
They've
don't think they
also
won
haven't
one
made
since like 2008 or something
They
like
also
that.
haven't made the playoffs, and like I don't even know when the last time they made the
Like
playoffs in
2018 was the
anything.
last time. Or
Did
anyways,
they? Oh yeah,
back
they
to
got
the
swept by the Bucks, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. Anyways,
No.
back to the Detroit team that
All right.
matters.
The Lions, they look good. I mean, they're 3-1. They beat let's see, they beat the Chiefs in the opener. They lost to Seahawks, and they bounced back against Falcons, beat the Packers. This is kind of what I expected, though. I mean, like, they're supposed to be the team to, I mean, I was thinking the Vikings, and the Vikings are a mess. I think the Lions are definitely favorites to win the North, NFC North, that is, and they look pretty good. David Montgomery he
I
had three
I said
touchdowns.
the Lions would win in the NFC North, and I stand by
I
that.
look
But
so
of course,
foolish about the Vikings now. I thought
but
like
there's a
I
there,
guess
but
their luck is
let's not
over.
forget
So
there's a lot of football left to be
that's
played.
true. That's true. But I mean, I think they look like by far the best out of any team so far. I mean, the
They're
Packers looked half
definitely.
decent, honestly, but like,
Um,
they still didn't have it against the Lions. So I mean, when it really matters. So I mean, yeah,
I'm
good game. It was a good Thursday night game. The Lions were up 27-3 at the half. I remember that. And then I guess the Packers
yeah,
scored some
and
points in garbage time.
yeah, but I mean, even then, like Jordan Love still looks pretty solid. Like,
Yeah, I would say
I
so.
mean,
I mean, I think that
listen.
yeah,
Every team has a bad game every now and then. I mean, of
that's
course,
true.
we may exaggerate some of them a lot more than needed, but hey, it happens. So, like, I wouldn't fear too much of this as a Packers fan. I mean, I'm not saying I'm a Packers fan. I'm far from that. But Packers fans, I wouldn't fear that much from this. I mean, sure, you look bad for one game, but
Right.
move on.
It's still like,
It's just
yeah,
week four.
that's true. And other than that, they have close win against the Saints. They have close loss against the Falcons. They have a dominant win against the Bears, who they own. The Bears are a mess. So I think it's a long season. They've looked better than I think people have expected. A little bit better, at least. And yeah, I mean, I think they're going to be around for the wild card fight, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think Lions look pretty good in the division. In the division to win the division, have the NFC North crown, and then Packers. I think they could be a wild card team possibly. We'll have to see how
Yeah.
things shake up with the rest
All
of
right.
the teams, I
All right.
guess.
What game do you want to talk about next?
Do you want to go in order, or you want to hit on the prime time ones? It would
Let's
be
go in
kind
order.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool to kind of get to the ones at the end because those are our teams and those are the big games. So let's
Yeah.
just go in
All right.
order. Falcons, Jaguars, the London game.
Um,
I wasn't watching that one.
Jag. I mean,
Bounce back win for the Jags.
Jaguars recent seem to always be good in London.
Yeah, they
They
they play
always
a
seem to
home
be
game
good in
there
London.
every year. So I mean, I guess they've gotten used to
And
it by now.
anyways,
But
this was big redemption for the Jaguars after laying an egg
hmm
to the Texans last week. Falcons uh pulled the plug on Desmond Ritter. He's obviously not the quarterback.
yeah, it doesn't look good.
And Falcons, please, if you can hear me, throw the damn ball to Kyle Pitts. You drafted him fourth overall.
I know,
Give him the damn ball, please.
crazy. Yeah, so I mean that's pretty much sums that one up. I mean, I heard it was the Toy Story game. Oh, I guess I had.
Oh,
I,
oh
I
God.
didn't pay attention to that, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah. Rams Colts 29-23 overtime win. This one looked like it was gonna be a blowout by the Rams. The Colts came back. It forced it to overtime. I mean, Richardson looked pretty decent, I guess.
I think if I remember correctly, Nakua is now the
Yeah, Puka Nacua,
yeah,
the
like
receiving leader, right?
yeah, five games in, like yeah, I think he's the receptions leader like
Yeah.
in NFL history.
Wow.
There's
Yeah,
somewhere to
yeah,
put
through
your name
five.
in.
Yeah. He's been great. I mean, definitely if you got him in
I mean,
fantasy off
I mean,
waivers, like good for you.
I
I
mean,
mean,
but
like,
here's the thing: we're forgetting some like the reason why he's doing so good right now is because Cooper Cup is still injured.
I know, yeah.
Once Cup
Mhm.
comes back, Nakua's touches will definitely go
That's
down.
true. But he'll
Same with
definitely have
the
a role, but I mean,
yeah,
yeah, I
same with the
agree.
other guy, Tuta,
Tutu Atwell.
yeah, like same with the other
Right.
guy, but still.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Rams pulled it through. They're both teams are 2-2, which is interesting. Rams dominated the
Here's
Seahawks week one, and
I
the
mean,
Seahawks
like
have looked better.
I don't know how to say it, like even though the Rams beat the Colts, I
Right.
still think the Colts are like you know what I'm saying when I say this? Like the Colts are one
Yeah.
of the better 2-2 teams in the league than the
Yeah, I mean,
others.
look, their
You know
wins
what I'm
like
trying to
look
say?
pretty
What you know what
promising.
I'm trying to say, right?
I see what you mean. Yeah. I mean, the way, yeah, they fell behind, they came back. They beat the Ravens last week, which was surprising. I mean,
Come on, that PI should have been called on 4th and 3.
yeah, that's fair. But I mean, they
But
still did
Justin
win
Tucker should
though.
have made the kick at the end of the game.
I agree. And that might be a good
It can go
segue
both
to,
ways.
yeah, yeah. That could be a good segue to Ravens versus Browns. It's a dominant win by the Ravens, 28-3. That's a score you might recognize.
Yeah,
Like,
well, I recognize that from previous games and from Sunday for obvious reasons. But then again,
yeah,
I mean, no Deshaun Watson,
right.
um, and
Oh
I
man,
honestly,
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
hmm
would he have really made that much of a difference? Probably, but
Yeah,
I mean,
they would have probably done better. I mean, I guess DTR, he had 3 picks. He didn't look ready. I thought like they had something. I mean, it's too early to like write him off. It's been
yeah,
one
but
game. You know what
here's
I
the thing
mean?
with the Ravens now. For like the past 3 years, they're like the most injured team in the league. Like if injuries were a Super Bowl, the Ravens would be a
Yeah,
dynasty.
especially with like Lamar getting injured, and then that basically like derails their season. And so many other guys too. Their running back room's been decimated. I mean, like just
They have
so
zero
many things.
corners now.
Defense, yeah.
They have zero corners.
Yeah, and then some of the receivers are also injured. Like it's like a mess. Like, but they're still, chugging along, I guess. They're 3-1, so
I
that's
mean,
that's good.
is it really a stretch to say they're the best team in the AFC North?
I
No,
think, and I don't think so.
Because the Steelers are crap.
I know.
The Browns are underwhelming.
The
And
Bengals,
if we say the Browns are underwhelming, what do we call the Bengals?
very disappointing. Yeah. Wow.
Well, I guess we'll talk about them now. While we're talking about disappointments, the
Right.
Bengals, like
hmm
I thought the this is going to suck when I say this. I thought the Patriots offense looked lifeless, and then I saw the Bengals against the Titans. I don't know who looked worse, like offensively. Like
Right.
the
I mean, how do you like score 3 points? Like here's a team with AFC championship aspirations and like two
AFC
of their
Championship
four
aspiration? No. Super
Super
Bowl
Bowl
aspirations.
aspirations. I mean, they have Joe Burrow. They just paid him like a lot of money, and
I don't
they're
know.
one and three.
I
Yeah,
think Joe Burrow's calf is the least of the problems. I I I think the calf injury is the least of the problems. Like Jamar Chase is definitely upset about this, and
yeah,
T Higgins is out with like a
yeah.
rib injury or
I have him
something.
on
Like
fantasy too, so I know. But yeah, I
oh, I
mean,
have Tyler Boyd, but
interesting. See, yeah, it's just I don't know like what's been going on with them, but for some reason they haven't been able to find their way out of their slump. I thought they kind of turned a page a little bit with the Rams, but I guess not because it's the Titans and they laid another egg. So I don't know. It just doesn't seem like they're anywhere near where they're supposed to
uh,
be. Obviously, they have Super Bowl aspirations. Yeah, disappointing. I mean, I don't think anyone would think they'd be quite this bad. I mean, they play the Cardinals next week, but I mean, still, like,
I mean,
um,
but that
yeah.
should not be a tight contest. Like Cincinnati needs to win that one big.
Oh yeah, yeah. They need some. how you know, so like moral support or like they need like a big win to really get them back on the right track. I mean, yeah, it's still early. I don't want to write them off yet, but it just really
I mean,
doesn't look
hey,
good when you're.
last season they started off 0-2 and then they rattle off like
That's
14 or
true.
16 to go to the AFC
But
Championship.
like yeah, like last week the Browns beat the Titans 23-7 or 27-3, and then now the Titans beat the Bengals 27-3. Like it's kind of like bizarre, but yeah, especially considering the Browns are haven't been doing that well either.
I
But
mean, I'll tell you what's bizarre, the Minnesota Vikings. But
yeah, we
uh,
should shift
but
over to that
yeah,
game.
but I like to think that like with with the playoff atmosphere being in Minnesota with the Twins, of course,
Mm-hmm.
the Vikings were finally inspired to get a win after repeatedly screwing
Suppose.
up the past three games. And it certainly wasn't pretty, especially with that Kirk Cousins pick six.
Right.
But they pulled it out, and likewise, so did the Twins. So who knows? Both of these teams have won within the same week.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe this might be the start of something for both the Minnesota Twins and the Vikings. I don't know. Uh, as for the Panthers, I mean,
Oof.
aside from Adam Thielen, like I don't really know what to say much about the Panthers.
Yeah, they're 0-4. Things aren't really going too well for the Bryce Young era, although he's a pretty decent game. Adam Thielen, that was probably a big game for him, obviously seeing his old teammates like, him and Justin Jefferson and had a moment for the game, which is cool. And then game started and it seems like a lot of special and defensive. There's a Panthers interception return, the one for 99 yards. Sam Franklin, then DJ Wadham had a fumble return from 51. Justin Jefferson caught a touchdown with time expired. I don't know how I missed this, but and that actually gave well then I guess ensured the win because they're already up 14. Oh wait, no,
Yeah,
this is in the third quarter, but still, like it was at the last second third quarter. So I guess that ensured them the win, I guess, and Panthers couldn't enter back. It's a good thing because the Vikings, I mean, I guess they've kind of had the trend flip where they won all the one score games last season. Now they kind of lost all of them so far. Although the Eagles was not really like a true one score game, like they kind of
yeah.
scored late, and then but in any case, like
I
they're on the
mean,
board. Panthers are
I
still winless.
I mean, I guess let's talk about another NFC South team that played like trash. The Bucks and the Saints. Well,
Mm.
the Saints were definitely the trash team. The Bucks. I mean, they are. I think they're the most surprising 3-1 team in the league right now.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, I don't think anyone expect the Bucks to be good. It's like even in the NFC South, they was supposed to be
And
bad. They were
and
supposed to be like the worst
this is
team.
also when Mike Evans is out with a hamstring injury, if I remember correctly. And of
Yeah.
course,
Hmm.
Derek Carr is playing through like the separated AC shoulder not surgery, but shoulder injury. Uh, I don't think that's the best idea, Derek. But hey, I'm not getting paid $100 million, so I'll leave the decision making at you.
Right. Yeah. So they open up with win against the Vikings. We just talked about win against the Bears or dumpster fire, and then lost to the Eagles, and then win against the Saints. So yeah, they're 3-1. It's a surprising 3-1. It'll be interesting because they play the Lions next week actually. So see if
Uh,
I don't think they'll win that one, but
that will still
it
be
could
an
be
interesting
interesting
matchup.
though. Yeah. Uh-huh. So yeah, I mean it's interesting. I guess Baker Mayfield's done enough to kind of right the ship with them, so that's good. He's at least somewhat dependable. I mean, their quarterback situation didn't look exactly inspiring during like training camp, like at all. And then, yeah, Derek Carr's playing through the injury. That's, I guess, a little bit rough. But
I
yeah, I
mean,
mean, Bucks, I think are on the right track. I mean,
I
with the
mean,
three and
but
one record,
but
yeah.
the question is, as the Saints, who do you trust more, Derek Carr or Jameis Winston? Like, and
Ooh,
that's who an
no, there's
injured
no
Derek Carr.
question. Yeah,
That's who an injured Derek Carr. Like,
that's
who do
true.
you trust more?
I don't know. It's a good question. I feel like Jameis Winston could still play, but like, I mean, Derek Carr's like brings experience, consistency. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I kind of just rather roll with Carr at this point, honestly. But I don't know. It's a good question. I feel like the Bucks are probably in a good position to win the division this year, the way the Falcons, Saints, and
I
and
don't think
Panthers
any
are
of it.
playing.
I don't know if anyone saw that. I don't even know if
Yeah,
fans saw that.
right. Because
I,
they were supposed to be like in the Caleb Williams like sweepstakes, like
I mean, I
like with
picked
the
the Saints to
Bears.
win the division, but
Yeah, me too. And It could still happen. I mean, once they get
I
healthy. I
could,
mean, Kamara's back. They have Michael Tom. They have guys on their team. The defense is
all right,
good.
Kamara's coming back.
Yeah, I think he was playing in that last one too. So it was his first
Oh,
game
I
back
thought he
in.
suspended for longer. I
No,
wasn't sure.
it was a three game. He had 51 yards on 11 carries for this one.
Got it.
So
All right, wait. Let's move on now.
yeah, Dolphins
Let's talk.
Bills. This is a big one.
See, the thing is, for me as a rival fan, I wasn't rooting for anyone to win. I was just laughing at whoever would lose. But the thing is, I kind of wanted the Bills to lose because that
Yeah,
way
I've
it'd be
heard this
better
from
for.
Jets fans that they kind of like hate the Bills more
No,
actually.
wait,
But I don't know
did
if
you
it's the
just call
same
me a
for you.
Jets fan?
No, I mean I like one of my friends is like a big Jets fan and he like hates the Bills probably like as much if not more than I hate the Eagles, which is kind of
Yeah.
crazy, but
No, like the
regardless,
thing is, it's like I meant in the sense that it's like because it'd be better for like towards like wild card implications if they
for the
lost.
Patriots, yeah,
Yeah, but
that's
I mean, with the way we're playing, I don't know about that.
I don't know about
We'll
that.
talk about that later. We'll talk about that later. Right now, we'll talk about how the Dolphins and the Bills they were trading cannon shot for cannon shot in the first
Hmm.
quarter until the Dolphins were stopped first, and then the
Right.
Bills rode all the momentum right afterwards.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty much that's what happened. Bills just had more
I
in
would
the
say
shootout.
I would say circle this game because we could very well see this again in January, just
Yeah.
like last year.
Yeah. Two good teams. Yeah, this is like a cool off game for the Dolphins. They had 70 against the Broncos, and then now they got beat by
Yeah,
the Bills
they're
team.
probably just tired from scoring too much last week. They wanted to
Yeah,
like take it easy this week.
probably. I mean, Josh Allen looked pretty decent. Stephon Diggs pretty good as well. So Stephon had 3 touchdowns. Josh Allen,
Well, you
four
forget
touchdowns.
if a certain Jalen Ramsey wasn't injured,
That's true.
we'd see Stephon Diggs versus Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah. I actually got Tua in fantasy in a trade, but I couldn't use him. I already had like Daniel Jones for the last week, so then this week I have him.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
that
it's
probably
too
went
bad.
well.
Yeah, this was my first fantasy week where I actually won a game. So also I got Achane off waivers, so that definitely helped out. My two backs were
Oh,
Isaiah Pacheco and Devon Achane, or so like that worked out pretty well for me. They both have
yeah,
24 something plus points though.
I went 0
Yeah.
and 4 in 4 leagues this week.
Oh,
Like not my best
damn.
fantasy week.
Oh, yeah, it's weird. It's like all the leagues I didn't put any effort. Like I just did drafts just to prepare for like my WRC draft, and then those that I don't even like pay attention to are like doing pretty well, and then the one I
Yeah.
put all my effort in is
I,
one and
I,
three. But that's sometimes
listen,
how fantasy works, I
listen,
guess. So
I say, speaking, preparing for the draft, let's talk about the Chicago Bears.
this game was absolutely nuts. So we had two of
This
the
game
worst teams
was,
in the NFL playing each other. In the Broncos and Bears, and the
I don't
Bears
know what to
actually had a
say.
good lead, and then the Broncos came back and just it was the
Can
same script from the
we
Giants
really
Cardinals game
listen?
actually, which is the funny part.
Can we really say the Broncos like came back and won this game, or can we say the Bears remembered that they were in contention for the first and second overall pick back to
Yeah,
back, and they decided to proceed with
it
tanking?
could be. It could be
But
that.
Justin Fields did have a really good game.
He
Like
did. Oh
I'm not
yeah,
taking anything away from that,
probably
but
is one of his best games as a Bear. So, or
I'd say
yeah,
probably his best game.
yeah, his best game is Bear. I don't know. Like he was really good at Ohio State. Like it just hasn't translated for whatever reason. But
It's because Chicago is like quarterback hell. Like
yeah, I know.
listen,
And then
in the 100 years the Chicago Bears have existed, who's the best quarterback in team history? Jay Cutler.
maybe could be,
I
could very
mean,
well be. Yeah.
you could say Steve Grogan, like the
Whoever
only
took
one
them to
who's
the playoffs like a few years ago, that was Jay Cutler, right?
no. Are you talking about the Trubisky era, where in
Oh yeah.
2018
I mean, I guess,
with that
but I
rock
don't know.
solid defense?
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
for me to toss up between Jay Cutler and Steve Grogan. Steve Grogan was the quarterback when the '85 Bears won the Super
Oh,
Bowl,
probably them then. If
but of
I
course,
don't know. But
no one
it's
remember.
obviously the
No,
defense there,
no,
so you know.
didn't Steve Grogan? No, Steve Grogan played for the Patriots. Is he? I just remember Super Bowl eight. I just remember the 1985 Super.
That
No,
was yeah.
Steve Grogan was the Patriots. All right. See, that's
Oh,
the thing. I don't even know the Bears quarterback who won the Super Bowl then.
yeah. Wasn't it like
I don't know.
the Mike Ditko's the head coach. Thing. Anyway, we could figure that out, I guess. So
Yeah, we'll figure that out if we bother to care.
yeah, it's
Just like the
Jim
Broncos.
McMahon, by the way. So
Jim McMahon.
yeah, Jim McMahon. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
even remember what he
I don't
really
even know.
did. So he's probably like an average quarterback with a really good defense, but like that obviously like won them the Super Bowl and all of that. So
Yeah, I guess if you
anyway,
want, I guess from your biased perspective, if you want to talk about average quarterback with a great defense, let's talk about the Eagles.
yeah, yeah. Oh
I,
man,
I know I know how much you love to take a dump on Jalen Hurts, so let's talk about this game.
honestly, I think he's a pretty good quarterback. Like I really do. It's just I just don't like the team, but I mean he's
What's
pretty good. He's
what's this a rival not letting out the hate in his heart?
Oh,
That's
believe me, I
that's
was watching this
interesting.
game. I was like upset because I was hate watching the Eagles, which I try to do whenever I think they have a reasonable shot of losing. And this game definitely fit the bill, even though I didn't think it would. But Sam Howell actually played pretty good, and the Eagles almost
No,
lost, but
I mean,
they
listen,
would have been better. Yeah, Washington put up
Washington
a good
lost this
fight.
game, but this is by far their best game of the season.
Oh yeah, they look way better, especially compared to what they did against the Bills, where they had
Yeah.
like four
No,
turnovers and they lost
you know what I
37-3.
think it is? No, I think it has something to do with the fact that it's like we always play our save our best competition. It may not necessarily
For
be the
rival
best,
rivalry
but
game.
we save the most fiercest competition for our divisional rivals. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think so. It could be because the Commanders also beat the Eagles last year in Philadelphia, and this year it seemed like it could have happened. I feel like the Eagles could have ended up better if they just they tried to run out the clock, kick a game-winning field goal. They gave Washington the ball back with a minute 43. Washington scores on the last play of regulation on a Jahan Dotson touchdown,
I
and
was
then
hoping
they
Washington would go for two, honestly. I
me
was
too.
hoping
I,
they would.
I I really just like at that point, but I guess like you feel like you could play well enough where you can get the win. I don't know. I mean, it's like you don't want to risk it. It's not like they have nothing to lose. Like, so I kind of get it. And then they even got the ball back first, but Reed Blankenship's stupid foot was in the way of the landing spot. If I think that was Curtis Samuel. Oh man, like, yeah, I just hate the Eagles. I really want the Commanders to win that one. Would have been hilarious. Like, I just can't wait for the Eagles to lose their first game. But the Eagles, they're coming along. They're 4-0. I mean, they haven't looked like they've been playing their best football. This game was probably one of their better performances. Their offense looked like they're humming. AJ Brown looked good. Hurts looked pretty good. DeAndre Swift looked pretty good. So I feel like they could just play a lot better, but they're still like undefeated. So like
Yeah,
that's
I was gonna say
more props to
speaking
them,
good.
I guess.
I was gonna say speaking good offense. Let's talk about the Texans.
Yeah. Oh, that's so
CJ
surprising then.
Stroud is something. No,
Hmm.
CJ Stroud is already in
Yeah.
contention for Rookie of the Year. Like
Yeah.
that's not a question. Well, Offensive Rookie of
I
the Year,
kind
I
of knew
should say.
that from like I mean he looks like he's starting to like come around to living up to his Ohio State
And that
expectations, I
dude's
guess.
in the Texans.
Right?
The Texans.
Yeah, of
Like
all
they're known for
teams. I
killing
mean,
off like prospects quite easily.
yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, he looked pretty good. Damian Pierce, who I had in
And
fantasy
Kenny
last
Pickett
year,
did
had a
not
lot of
look pretty
carries.
good. I mean,
Nico Collins, 2 touchdowns, 168
yeah,
yards. Oh, no, he did not. Yeah, Kenny Pickett. Steelers look terrible, but some others still 2-2. So
and somehow Matt Canada is still their offensive coordinator, but I will not complain.
yeah. Did you see the thing about like his burner account or something like that? I don't know what the story is with that, but like some
I
people
didn't
think
really
he's
see
using.
anything about that.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, yeah, the Steelers look terrible. You should not be losing. I don't think any team in the NFL should be losing a game to the Texans 30-6, but that's what the Steelers did. So,
I mean,
yeah,
the Jaguars did lose to them last week,
that's fair.
37-17.
That's fair. Texans are like they
But
might be better
that
than
was by
people think,
20
though.
points. That was by 20 points. This is by 24. So
It's a bit worse. And
technically,
also
the
you only
Steelers did
scored
have a worse
6.
loss.
Yeah. I mean, I know the Texans have Anderson and the other guy, and CJ Stroud, but I mean, still though, like I mean, wow. Like that's a bit
I mean,
surprising.
hey,
Yeah.
maybe drafting second overall and then trading a king's ransom for the third overall. Maybe that's now the secret to accelerating your
Yeah.
rebuild. Like,
Yeah,
I
honestly, it's not
mean,
a bad idea,
I
but the
mean,
best
wait,
offensive and defensive player in the
do
same draft.
we dare start talking about how the Texans could possibly win the AFC South?
Mm, well, they did beat the Jaguars, and like, I don't know. I still feel like the Jaguars are like, you know, gonna pull through at the end, but I still feel like they're yeah, they should still be the favorites. I feel like they had a bad game maybe, and like they can get revenge on the Texans, and they're probably the only team in that division who has even like a half decent shot at like the Bills and the Niners and some of the tougher teams they play in the schedule, and they play the AFC North. So, I still feel like it's the Jags division to lose, and I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I don't even want to think about a wild card for the Texans because I just feel like that probably won't happen. But who knows? Because AFC is also more loaded than NFC. But who knows? It's a long
Oh,
season. It's early.
wait,
They did play really well though.
just a quick interruption while we're talking about MLB real quick. Diamondbacks have taken game one from Milwaukee. Shocker
Hmm.
in my view. And the Phillies have taken game one against the Marlins. Not a shocker.
Yeah.
Now back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Right. All right. So those are best of three, right? Wild card. So
Yeah,
one more and they're
yeah.
through. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. So I thought. Yeah. Red October. Put in a word for my Philly friends, I guess. So, that's probably one of the Philly teams I
I
don't
mean,
hate
hey,
that much.
I
So
mean,
yeah.
let's talk about another dead team right now. Let's talk about Chokeland and the Chargers.
Chokeland, that's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't come up with it. I've seen it on so many memes,
So
but
they
still.
choked against like the biggest choking team like in the league, which is the Chargers. So that's
I mean, I mean,
funny.
last week we had the choke poll, the Chargers versus the Vikings.
Oh yeah, like which team would lose the game, and the
Yeah, I
Vikings
I
did.
st
So
I still don't count this as a legitimate win for Brandon Staley. Once again, bailed out by your own stupidity.
yeah,
Uh, you're just I don't know. You're extremely overrated as a head coach, and the reason why you look good defensively is because you're playing the Raiders
yeah,
without Jimmy G at helm. So, Chargers, this win means nothing. Raiders as a team, you practically mean nothing. So,
yeah.
let's move on to Cardinals 49ers.
Ooh, okay. So
Christian
Cardinals.
McCaffrey,
Oh my goodness. I can't
he
believe I
went
like
off.
I can't believe I mean I know Travis Kelce is probably a good pick, but like I
Oh
probably should have
God.
taken McCaffrey in fantasy, like he has like 48 he had 48 and a half fantasy points this week, and he looks like he could possibly be the MVP as a running back. I know he
When was
plays
the
like
last time
receiver
that's
too.
happened? When was the
No
last time an
idea. A
MVP
while
back
ago,
has happened?
especially the way running back, it's a good question.
You know what? You keep talking, I'll search it up.
All right. Yeah, that's so back to this
Wait,
game.
what was it? Adrian Peterson?
Probably. Yeah. I would think so. I don't
What was that?
remember
Like
any
2012, 2013?
something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Last running back to win an MVP, Adrian Peterson, his 2012 season,
So yeah, how many yards did he have in that season?
2,097 rush yards in a 16 game season.
Wow. Is that still like the all-time record? Or like someone passed that with 17? I forget.
Let's see, all time
Rushing record.
rushing yards in a season. Let's see. No, Eric Dickerson, 2,105 yards with the Rams in 84.
Oh wow. Yeah. And then Adrian Peterson. I feel like I don't know. Maybe someone will pass that with an extra game, but all these things can
Yeah,
be
I mean, but
interesting.
it's I mean,
Like TJ Watt with
yeah,
a sack record,
yeah,
but
but
he
like,
also played less games too, so
yeah, but let's also like take this time to realize that like setting the original records were still very impressive. Like that one Bills running back. I don't know if I should say his name right now. Let's just call him Orange. Um, that one Bills running back, first player in NFL history for amongst running backs, 2,000 yards in a 14 game season. I think you know who I'm talking about.
yeah.
Orange. Yeah. All right, but I
Yeah, I
guess
think I lost your train of thought for a second.
yeah, yeah. But let's get the torture on with. We've been delaying it long enough. Uh, as I said last week, America's team
Ooh,
versus the Dallas
it
Cowboys.
was the America's
Well,
game of the
well,
week,
the the Dallas Cowboys showed up. The Patriots
New
did
England
for the
didn't,
first. The Patriots did for the first drive of the game,
and that was about
and
it.
that's all I could say.
Wow.
My
Yeah.
God.
Unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess I didn't get to watch this game. It would have been tough to see two of my least favorite teams win. in the same day. And this game wasn't even like a good one. Like at least the last one, like it was a competitive one and it was good and the Eagles won, but
I
like it was a
wish I
good
could say
game.
it's I mean, it was
The
competitive
Patriots
for the
didn't have
first
any kind of
series,
chance though, but answer
and
me this though. The Cowboys, they have three blowout wins over the Giants, the Jets, and the Patriots, and then they have a loss to the Cardinals. Like I didn't watch the Cowboys Cardinals game, but how does that happen? Like how is that the one team you lose to? And I know the Cardinals have been pesky. They almost beat the Giants. They almost beat the Commanders too, kind of. But like I mean, like how did like was it just like a different strategy that that the Cardinals had or something? Like
I
I
have
don't I guess they
I
got the
have no
lead
idea.
and the Cowboys played bad from behind, or I just I don't know. I feel like I have to watch the highlights and figure out how that happened. I feel like
I,
the Cowboys probably went away from their strategy that week and then
I mean,
they got exposed or something like
maybe
that.
you could do better film breakdown and defensive analysis than what the Giants have done.
Yeah, I
Maybe.
mean, okay,
I
well,
mean,
we
but
have two more games here and then
we truly lost the game when Christian Gonzalez and Matt Judon were knocked out with injuries, and we were left with Miles Bryant trying to attempt to cover CD Lamb. That was when we lost. Like as soon as Christian Gonzalez went out with that shoulder injury, Miles Bryant came in, and then in amazing fashion, Dak Prescott throws a touchdown to CD Lamb. So immediately the game was lost right there. I knew we weren't going to win right there. I just wanted the offense to look a little more lively, and I thought we would, especially with Trayvon Diggs being out for the season, but we couldn't even do that. I don't know what the hell to say. So let's just move on to
oh yeah,
um
it's real quick.
let's
Like
just
I see an up. I kind of looked up how the Cardinals beat the Cowboys. So it seems like they were creative with the running game. Um, Dang, now my like computer screen kind of froze, but like it seems like they
wait,
did some creative things to get
yeah,
that win, and
hang on,
I'll
wait,
study that more. Maybe I'll have a breakdown for you guys on the next week's episode or something like that, on how
oh,
they beat
okay.
the Cowboys. It'll be funny, but we
Uh,
have two
let,
games to get to. Both of them took place at MetLife Stadium, probably two of the biggest games of the week, especially with the Chiefs Jets game, and I feel like the Taylor Swift thing's starting to get a little
uh, uh,
overblown. I was really into it the first week.
a little bit. Are you
It's
kidding me? It's
ridiculous
way
when like
too
the
overblown.
NFL has like Taylor Swift in their
Uh,
profile and their bio. It's
wait,
just like it's too much. It's
you
too
know,
much.
wait,
And all the
do you know
cuts.
what I heard? Like I heard from I heard from a confidential source. I can't reveal it now. I
Hmm.
heard that Roger Goodell has already rigged the Super Bowl for the Chiefs for Super Bowl 58 and has already invited Taylor Swift into one of the box office suites to
Perfect.
watch Travis Kelsey win his third Super Bowl. That's what I heard from my confidential source. Roger Goodell has already used his sorcery magic to make that happen, but you did not hear that from me.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Jets fans would probably be saying that after what happened in that game because I feel like they got hosed on a couple calls.
I just want to say this for the record. I am far from a Jets fan. I hate the Jets with a burning passion, but the Jets got robbed.
They really did. Yeah. I mean, the Gardner hold, like I didn't really see it. I don't
The
think that was even that wasn't a
hold.
hold. He kind of I don't even know how to explain. He barely touched him. He kind of just looped his hands, like
No,
almost
no,
like let him go forward. Like that wasn't a hold. Like that was not a hold.
breathing is a penalty in the NFL now.
But I think what was more egregious was that they missed a blatant hold with the Chiefs, though, on one of their offensive tackles, and they let that one like slide, and that was much more obvious than the one that Gardner was
Yeah,
called for.
and
Like that was ridiculous.
can
And there's
and
several other things happen both ways. I think
can we say
Chiefs also
something?
got some calls against them, but
Zach
more so the
Zach
Jets.
Wilson. Can we say something? Zach
Yeah.
Wilson, after looking completely dead against my Patriots,
Hmm.
he
He had a
outplayed Patrick
he
Mahomes.
outplayed and he's the first quarterback in college in the NFL to do that in a game.
No,
That's
I think with
incredibly
all
impressive.
I think with all the stats improved. I mean, like certain quarterbacks are probably like outdroven Patrick Mahomes in yards, or
Right.
certainly like sometimes in touchdowns. I think Zach Wilson did this for all the stats, literally. Like
Yeah.
I don't
Completion
know.
percentage, yards, touchdowns, no picks. I mean, he played I want to say perfect game because obviously he had the fumble, but like he played really good. Like he gave Jets fans some confidence that he can be maybe not the next great
I wouldn't
quarterback,
say
but at least,
no, 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 no. Confidence is the wrong word.
there's something in him that, like,
A glimmer of hope.
a glimpse of hope. He has to be consistent. He has to do this again next week when they play the Broncos, but
I mean,
and in
but
the future,
the thing
but
is, Zach Wilson has been consistent. He's been consistently bad for a long time.
right. But like, he showed promise in this game. In the New York media, I was listening to a lot of radio. They're like, they basically wanted him, like, out of his job and all of this. It was just the end of the world. And now I think the same thing's happening to Daniel Jones, but we'll get to that in like a second. But I mean, he played really good for Wilson played really good for, this game. And the Jets had a chance in a game that people thought was going to be a blowout win for the Chiefs. And, maybe if those calls went the Jets' way, maybe they would have won. Like, you don't know. But um, yeah, I mean,
Here's the thing
Kingdom
though.
survived, I guess. So I mean,
Roger Goodell's not going to let you know, Travis Kelsey's girlfriend watch a loss on national
true.
television.
Yeah, I feel like there might be something going
No,
there.
it was deliberate rigging. Like, and that's who
The
Roger.
worst part is like
This
when
is
the
a
NFL,
week 4 regular
yeah,
season game. Like, come on, man.
and then the
At
NFL
least
Twitter account was
at
just like
least
talking
say
about it. It was just
like
like like
at least save your rigging
yeah,
for here. You know
like a
what,
big
Arnav?
game.
Listen, Arnav. Next game, do this with me. All right, we'll be FaceTiming the game together. All right. Next time
Ooh.
we'll play a drinking game. All right. We'll take a shot every time Taylor Swift appears on camera next game. How about that?
Yeah, sure. I'm down, honestly.
Yeah,
I mean, I
I
don't even
think
know if she's going to the next game, but
oh she definitely will
the
be. And
Vikings. Oh, that's
of course
interesting.
all the cameras will be focused on her face for some
Right.
reason.
Yep. It was
And
like Isaiah Pacheco scored a touchdown, and then they showed her like she like called the play or something. Like she was like the
yeah,
OC.
and
Like it was
we'll
ridiculous.
become
Speaking of Isaiah
we'll
Pacheco, great game by the way. I mean, he has best game as a Chief. Again, I think 150 something yards. He had 115 on the ground,
he
a
was
long
fantastic.
42-yard rushing touchdown, had 24 something points in fantasy. So it was great to see
Well,
as a Rutgers player making his return to Jersey.
he made New Jersey look good. And speaking of New Jersey teams uh and speaking of New Jersey teams that
That didn't
look
look
good,
good.
well, we're definitely not talking. We were just talking about the Jets. They're a New Jersey team that look good. Let's
I
talk about
mean,
the
oh,
one that did
right.
not look good.
The
Let's
Giants, yeah. Final 2 minutes. It's my team now. Man, I don't even know what to
The
say.
floor is
Like
yours, buddy. The floor
Daniel
is
Jones
yours. I won't
fumbled.
say
He had
anything.
he had two picks. I mean the offensive line's a mess. Like I don't know what they were doing. I mean, the most painful thing was they kind of had a chance, and then Daniel Jones threw an interception to Devon Witherspoon who ran it back. I mean, Seahawks got 11 sacks, but they could somehow the Giants were still kind of in the game until they weren't, and then it was just embarrassing. And they had 10 days to prepare for this game. I mean, like this is probably the second most winnable game other than the Cardinals, and they're probably going to start the season like 1-5, and it doesn't even feel like they might even the way they're playing, they might lose to the Commanders once if not twice. They might lose to the Jets. It depends on which Jets and which Giants show up. I have no clue the way these two teams have been playing, but I feel like the season, for all intents and purposes, might just be over. Christmas Day is going to be like some sort of massacre, and yeah, the Giants are probably going to win too many games to get like Caleb Williams, but they might be in the race for like Marvin Harrison Jr., like some player like that. So it's just like if they won this game, maybe they'd have a chance of like 2-2, and they could kind of come back. Like now, I just don't see it. And on top of that, they look lifeless.
Let's just
Seahawks
end
look
it
good.
right here. Let's just end it right here. There's always next week.
Yeah, and with that, that will be the end of this episode of SportsVibe. Always fun doing the NFL recaps, and yeah, better luck next week, I guess, for our two teams. And we'll see you next
Especially
week.
me.
Yep, yeah, me too. And we'll see you next
Not
week
for you.
for. All right, well, we'll see you next week for more NFL content and whatever else is going on in the sports world.